Okay, continuing on from Chapter 4 with our Junie B. Jones. Chapter 4, Cats and Gowns. I skipped in the door of room 9, then my whole face got happy, because guess who was talking to my teacher? It was Gus Valloni, that's who. And Gus Valloni is my favorite janitor. I zoomed right over to that guy. Gus Valloni, Gus Valloni, it is a joy to see you, I said. And so what brings you to here, anyway? Gus Valloni patted my head. I had an important delivery to make, sis, he said. Just then, my bestest friend Lucille came running up to me. She pointed to a big stack of boxes. It's cats and gowns, Junie B, she shouted. Gus Valloni brought us cats and gowns. She twirled me all around. I heard him talking to the teacher. The cats and gowns are right here in those boxes. Everyone is getting one for graduation, she said. I jumped up and down at that wonderful news. 'Cause who doesn't love cats? That's what I would like to know. Cats and gowns, I hollered. Cats and gowns, hollered room 9. Mrs. sat down in her chair real slow. Then Gus Valloni patted her shoulder, and he said the word, good luck. Mrs. said for room 9 to please stop shouting. I'm sorry, boys and girls, but Lucille did not hear me correctly, she said. No one in room 9 is getting a cat and gown for graduation. Room 9 did a loud groan. And what are we getting exactly? I asked. Caps and gowns, said Mrs. You're all getting a cap and gown for graduation, not cat and gown. No, said Lucille. I heard you say cat, teacher. I know I did. Mrs. said for Lucille to hush. Then she passed out the boxes to all the children. I looked inside my box, real curious. Then I kept looking and looking because something was not right in there. My cap got run over by a truck, I think, I said. It is a big square flatso. Mrs. laughed. Then she came to my table and she unfolded my cap and she put it right on my head. Hey, what do you know? It fits, I said. After that, all of us put on our caps and gowns and we skipped all around the room. Only not Lucille, 'cause she was still upset about the cat issue, of course. Pretty soon the bell was going to ring, and so Mrs. made us put our outfits back in our boxes. I'm going to let you take these home with you today, she said, but please do not play with them on the bus. And don't play with them at home either. These caps and gowns are white, okay? And white material gets soiled very easily. I know it, Mrs., I said. I know white material gets soiled easily, because one time my Grandpa Miller spilled beer on his new white tie, and you can still see beer splats on that thing. Mrs. looked and looked at me. Then she sat down at her desk very quiet, and she waited for the bell to ring. Chapter 5, $1,000,000. Me and my bestest friend named Grace rode the bus home together. We held our boxes very tight on our laps and we didn't open them. We are very careful about our graduation gowns, aren't we, Grace? I said. We are being careful not to soil them. Yes, said Grace. We are. I looked down at my box. I am very proud of us for not opening these things, I said. I am very proud of us too, said that Grace. We rode and rode. I did a sigh. It's too bad we can't just peek at them a little bit, though, isn't it, Grace? I said, one teensy peek wouldn't even hurt anything, I bet. That Grace didn't say anything. I tapped on her. Okay, here's what I'm thinking, Grace. I'm thinking we should do one little peek, and that's all, I said. What do you say, friend? Grace made her voice very loud. No, Junie B. No, we are not allowed to. Can't you follow orders, huh? Do you want to soil these things? I did a huffy breath at her. But peeking will not even soil them, Grace, I said back. Peeking is just looking with your eyes, only faster. Only too bad for me, because Grace kept on saying, no, no, no. And so I had to wait and wait for that stubborn girl to get off the bus before I could peek. And after she was gone, I looked in my box zippity quick. And what do you know? I didn't even soil anything. I got off the bus and ran to my house. My grandma, Helen Miller, was babysitting my brother. She was feeding him a snack in his high chair. Grandma Miller, I got my cap and gown. It is right here in this box, I said. Would you like me to try it on for you, Grandma? Huh? Would you? Grandma Miller clapped her hands. Of course I would, she said, real thrilled. Try it on right now. Okie doke, I said. Then I quick put on my cap and gown, and I danced all around. See me, Grandma? See what I look like? I look like a graduation girl, I said. I hopped around Ollie's high chair. My teacher said not to play in this, but hopping is not the same as playing, I said. Just then I heard the front door open. And hooray, hooray, Mother was home early from work. Her whole mouth came open when she saw me. Oh my goodness, she said, look how cute you are. know it, Mother. I know I am cute, I said. I look like $1,000,000 in this getup. I twirled all around in front of her. See me twirling, Mother? Twirling is not the same as playing, I said. After I stopped twirling, I fell down on the floor. Falling on the floor is what comes after twirling. It cannot be helped, normally. Mother picked me up. Maybe you should take this off before you get it dirty, she said. No, Mother, no, I said. I want to keep it on. Please let me, please, please. I quick ran to Ollie's high chair, and I ducked down behind it. Ollie peeked around at me. He had sloppy on his face. I am not a sloppy baby like Ollie, I said. I won't get this dirty, I promise. But Mother shook her head. I'm sorry, Junie B, but it's just not a good idea to play in your gowns, she said. After that, Mother and Grandma Miller blocked the high chair, and I couldn't run away again. Shoot, I said. I am surrounded. Mother took my graduation outfit off of me, and she put it back in the box. Then she put the box away on top of the refrigerator. Let's store it up here for safekeeping, she said. Let's not, I said real growly. Mother made squinty eyes at me. Then she took me by my arm, and she marched me to my room. 'Cause that woman has no sense of humor, apparently. She shut my door and left. I flopped on my bed, very glum. My stuffed animals were very glum, too. Everybody thinks I am a sloppy baby, but I'm not, I said. I don't think you're a sloppy baby, said my stuffed elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. I don't think you're a sloppy baby either, said my Raggedy Ann named Ruth. My Raggedy Andy named Larry did a sigh. Oh, I wish your mother didn't put that cap and gown box on top of the refrigerator, he said. Me too, said Philip Johnny Bob. I wish you could get it down from there so all of us could see it. After that, I thought and thought. Then I lifted up his softy ear, and I whispered, maybe I can. Chapter 6. Pooped and Thirsty. The next morning, my grandpa Frank Miller came to babysit. I love that babysitter very much, 'cause he doesn't even follow the rules, that's why. Grandpa Miller let me fix my own breakfast. I fixed 2 waffles and 3 marshmallows and a bowl of cheese curls. And guess what else? My grandpa let me pour my own grape juice, and I didn't spill one single drop. See, Grandpa? See how careful I am? I said. I am not a sloppy baby, right? Grandpa Miller was feeding Ollie. Right, he said. My eyes looked up at the refrigerator. I hopped down from my chair. Alrighty, Frank, I guess I'll be getting out of your hair now, I said. If you'll just hand me that box from the top of the refrigerator, I'll be on my way. Just then, baby Ollie started to cry. Grandpa Miller patted him. I tapped my foot. Yeah, only I'm waiting, Grandpa, I said. Finally, Grandpa Miller stood up and got my box. He started to look inside, only all of a sudden Ollie did a loud squeal. And he put his whole bowl of cereal right on his head. Oh my goodness, hollered my grandpa. Then Grandpa Miller shoved the box right at me, and he hurried to clean Ollie's head. I zoomed to my room. Then I locked my door, and I waved my box all around. I got it, guys, I got it, I said. Hooray, said Philip Johnny Bob. Hooray, hooray, said Raggedy Ruth and Raggedy Larry. After that, I set those guys on my bookshelf, and I put on my graduation gown. See me, friends, I said. See how cute I look? I am a graduation girl, see? Wowie, wow, wow, they hollered. After that, I danced and skipped and hopped and twirled, 'cause they wouldn't stop cheering, that's why. Finally, I flopped on my bed. Okay, that's enough, people, I said. I am pooped and thirsty. Me too, said Raggedy Larry. I am pooped and thirsty too. I wish we could get something to drink, said Raggedy Ruth. Just then, a brainstorm came right in my head. I sat up very straight. Hey, wait a second. I just learned how to pour grape juice without spilling a drop, I said. And so I can go get us some, maybe. Yes, said Philip Johnny Bob. Yes, yes, said Raggedy Ruth and Raggedy Larry. I hurried to my door and listened in the hall. Grandpa Miller was giving Ollie a bath. Shh, I whispered to my friends. You wait here. I'll be right back. After that, I tippy-toed to the kitchen, speedy quick, and I poured us a cup of grape juice, and I tippy-toed right back again. 7. Juice driblets. Grape juice can go wrong. First, Raggedy Ruth got purple on her mouth. Then Teddy got a dribble drop on his paw. And then, oh no, Raggedy Larry forgot to swallow his whole entire sip. Driblets spilled all over my bookshelf. I covered my mouth, very shocked. Then my heart pounded and pounded. 'Cause if grape juice gets on my rug, I am in big trouble, Missy. A cloth, I need a cloth, I hollered. I ran around and around all over my room. Then, all of a sudden, my eyes looked down at my clothes. And what do you know? I saw all the cloth I needed. No! I quick took it off of me, and I soaked up the driblets. My shoulders felt relief in them. Phew, that was a close one, I said. After that, I walked to my bed, and I plopped on my pillow. My brain was a genius to think of that, I said. I breathed and breathed. Then, all of a sudden, I did a teensy frown, 'cause something did not feel right here, possibly. I covered my head with my sheet. Then I turned my head very slow, and I peeked out at my bookshelf. My stomach did a flip-flop, because I saw my graduation gown, that's why, and it had juice driblets soaked into its front. I looked at Raggedy Larry real mad. "Oh no, look what you made me do," I said. "You made me use my graduation gown to soak up that dumb juice. Great, Larry, just great." After that, Raggedy Larry got put under my bed, and he did not come out again. Juice driblets do not go away, not even if you erase them with your brand new eraser, or if you color them with your new white crayon, or if you brush them with Daddy's new whitening, brightening toothpaste. I brushed up and down and all around, but the driblets did not budge. "Shoot," I said. "Now I will look like a slobby baby at graduation, and I'm not even the one who dribbled." Just then, I heard a knock on my door. It was Grandpa Miller. "Junie B, is everything okay in there?" he said. My heart got very pounding again. "Yes, Grandpa, yes, everything is perfectly perfect," I hollered. "I am just playing with my stuffed animals, and that's all." Grandpa Frank Miller knocked some more. "Could you open the door, please?" he asked. I felt tension in me, 'cause I didn't want him to see my problem, that's why. I quick pushed my graduation gown under my bed. Then I opened my door a teensy crack. "Hello, how are you today?" I said. "I am fine, except I am right in the middle of something, so I would like to get back to it, please." Grandpa Miller was holding baby Ollie. He looked disappointed at me. "Oh, phooey," he said. "Now that I've got your brother cleaned up, I thought maybe you and I could teach him how to play checkers." I looked at Ollie. He was wearing a clean shirt with purple polka dotties. "No, thank you," I said. "Maybe I'll teach him checkers some other day." I waved at my Grandpa Miller, very sweet. "Well, nice seeing you again, Frank. Goodbye," I said. After that, I closed the door, and I waited for Grandpa's footsteps to leave. Finally, I pulled my graduation gown from under my bed, and I stared and stared at that stupid thing. Why did this dumb gown have to be white? I grouched. Why couldn't it be purple like the grape juice? If it was purple like the grape juice, the driblets would blend right in. I tapped my fingers, real annoyed. Or why couldn't this dumb gown have purple flowers on it? The juice would blend in with flowers too, I bet, I said. Or what about polka dotties like Ollie's shirt? If there were purple polka dotties, no one would notice the driblets for sure. Just then, I sat up very fast, because I was getting another brainstorm in my head, I believe. I zoomed straight to my desk. Then I looked through all my drawers, and I found my colored markers. I laughed real happy. Then I spread my graduation gown on the floor, and I worked and worked very hard. And guess what? When I finally got done, you couldn't even spot the driblets, hardly. "My brain is a genius after all," I said. After that, I put my cap and gown in the box again, and I took it back to my Grandpa Miller. "Alrighty, Grandpa," I said. "You can put this back on the refrigerator now, please." Then I smiled real big, because guess what else? He did. Chapter 8, Getting Ready. Room 8 and Room 9 practiced for graduation together. We practiced on the stage in the auditorium, because the stage is where people get diplomas, of course. Mrs. showed everyone how to walk up the steps without tripping. She played music for us to march in with. And guess what? Room 9 marched better than Room 8, except Polly Allen Puffer kept bowing real silly, and Linny kept stepping on people's heels. Plus, Shy William ran out of the auditorium and down the hall, and Gus Filoni had to chase him around the parking lot. After that, Principal talked to William a real long time. Plus, also, his mother was called in, I believe. "I am not like William," I told Lucille and Grace. "I am not even nervous of walking up on that stage, hardly." "Me neither," said that Grace. "I am not nervous of walking up on that stage, hardly, either." Lucille fluffed her fluffy hair. "My Nana says that I was born to be on the stage," she said. "Nana says that people enjoy looking at me because I am a feast for their eyes." After that, Lucille wrinkled her nose very cute, and she skipped around and around in a circle. Grace and I watched her for a real long time. Then finally Lucille stopped skipping, and all of us hugged and hugged, 'cause we are the bestest 3 friends I ever even saw. Graduation week went by very fast. Friday night came in a jiffy. I felt so excited I couldn't even eat my dinner that good. I got down from my chair and I ran and ran all over the house. "Settle down," said Daddy. "Settle down," said Mother. "Settle down," I hollered. Then I laughed real loud. "'Cause I am a hoot, that's why." Finally, it was time to go. Mother got my graduation box off the top of the refrigerator. Oh, I jumped up and down. "Let me carry that, Mother. Please, please, please. I want to carry my box to room 9 myself, because that's where all of us are getting dressed." Mother handed me the box. Then Daddy said, "Settle down," again, and all of us drove to my school. Grandpa and Grandma Miller met us in the parking lot. I hugged them, "Hello." Then I zoomed to room 9, speedy fast. And guess what? All of the children from morning and afternoon kindergarten were getting ready together. I ran through the door. "It's me, people! It's Junie B. Jones! I am here for graduation!" Lucille and Grace came rushing over. They were already wearing their caps and gowns, and they looked marvelous, I tell you. "Hurry up, Junie B," said Lucille. "Hurry up and put on your cap and gown. Our teacher's going to take our picture." "Yes," said that Grace. "Hurry, hurry, hurry." She quick grabbed my box away from me, and she took out my cap and gown. Grace did a gasp. "Oh no, Junie B, what happened?" she said. "What happened to your cap and gown?" My stomach felt squeezy and sickish, because that outfit looked spottier than I remembered. "Put it down, Grace," I said. "Don't show people. I don't want anyone to notice." Lucille laughed very loud. "But that's so dumb, Junie B," she said. "How could people not notice? You colored big purple splotches all over your graduation clothes." I did a huffy breath at that girl. "Those are not big splotches, Lucille," I said. "Those are purple polka dotties that I drew in to blend in my juice driblets, and that is a whole different ballgame, madam." Just then, some of the children heard me yelling. They turned to look. "Great, Lucille," I said. "Now look what you did. You called attention to myself, and so now how can I even blend in?" After that, I quick grabbed my graduation gown, and I ran to the back of the room. Just then I heard a voice. "Junie B. Jones?" I looked to the front of the room. It was my teacher. Mrs. stretched her neck to look back at me. "Is there a problem back there, Junie B?" she asked. I shook my head real fast. "No, Mrs., no," I said. "There isn't a problem, I promise. And so please do not come back here, and I mean it." Mrs. came back there. And what do you know? All of room 9 came with her. Mrs. took my cap and gown out of my hands. The children laughed and laughed at the thing. "What kind of dumb gown do you call that?" said Meanie Jim. "I know," said Polly Allen Puffer. "It's the kind of gown that a clown would wear." "Yeah," shouted Jim. "It's a purple spotty clown gown." After that, the laughing got louder and louder. I put my hands over my ears to keep it out of my head. Then I tried to tell them about Raggedy Larry and the driblets and my purple-colored markers, but my nose started running very much, and I couldn't even talk that good. Finally, I started to cry, and guess what? Then nobody laughed anymore. Chapter 9. The time of my life. Mrs. took me into the hall. She wiped my face with a tissue, and we talked about my graduation gown. Mrs. said I would look darling in that dotty thing, 'cause purple is her favorite color, plus grape juice is her favorite kind of drink. I kept on crying. 'Cause I didn't actually buy it, that's why. Pretty soon, Mother and Daddy came hurrying to room 9. They brought Grandpa Miller with them. Their eyes popped out at my spotty dotty gown. I'm sorry, please don't yell at me," I said, "'cause I'm already crying, see? Plus wearing this dumb clown gown will be punishment enough." Mother and Daddy didn't yell. They said we would talk about this problem later. After that, Mother helped me put on my cap and gown, and she hugged me very nice. Then Daddy grinned, and he said I looked cute in dots. "She does look cute," said Grandpa Miller, "and not only that, but when she goes on stage, she'll be easy to spot." He winked at me. I did a giggle. "'Cause that man is a silly joker, that's why." Finally, Mrs. patted me. "Are you feeling better now, Junie B?" she asked. "Are you ready to go back inside and be with your friends?" I shrugged, kind of worried. "Sure she is. Of course she is," said my grandpa. "My goodness, this is Junie B. Jones." After that, he stood me up straight and tall, and he faced me to my classroom. Then I breathed in a big breath, and me and Mrs. went back into room 9. Polly Allen and Jim jumped out at me. "Surprise!" they hollered. "Surprise, surprise!" "Surprise!" hollered my bestest friend named Grace. I looked at those people very shocked. Then my mouth came all the way open, 'cause they had dots on their clothes just like mine. That Grace skipped all around. "It was Jim's idea, Junie B," she said. "Jim said that if all of us have spots too, then you will feel better. And so Polly Allen Puffer found the colored markers, and we colored our caps and gowns just like yours." Grace looked at Mrs. "See us, teacher? Aren't we beautiful? I colored red spots, and Jim colored blue spots, and Polly Allen Puffer colored green spots," she said. Just then, William raised his hand. "And I'm coloring orange spots," he said, kind of soft. "And I'm coloring lavender spots," said Charlotte. "And I'm coloring pink spots," said my bestest friend Lucille, "'cause pink brings out the natural blush of my cheeks." Mrs. smiled. Her smile kept on getting bigger. "Well, Junie B. Jones," she said finally, "what do you think about all of this, My face beamed, very joyful. "I think I love these people. That's what I think," I hollered. Then Jim said, "Gross." And Polly Allen Puffer said, "Gross," too. After that, all of room 9 laughed and laughed, and this time, even me. Graduation finally got started. The room 8 teacher walked up the steps of the stage. She said hello to all the people. Then Mrs. walked up the steps of the stage, too. She was still smiling. "Families and friends, I've been a teacher for a very long time," she said, "but in all my years of teaching, these are some of the most colorful graduates I've ever seen." Mrs. held out her arms. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present the graduates of Room 8 and Room 9. Just then the music started, and all of the children walked into the auditorium. The audience chuckled at us very happy. Room 9 chuckled back at them. After that, all of us sat in special chairs, and both of the teachers talked and talked some more, and then it finally happened. Mrs. started to call our names, and one by one we walked up on the stage, and we got our diplomas. And good news, Polly Allen Puffer did not bow real silly, and Linny did not step on people's heels, and Shy William did not run away. It was the time of our life, I tell you. I felt 1,000,000,000 feet tall up there. When Mrs. gave me my diploma, she shook my hand real nice. "I'm going to miss you, Junie B. Jones," she said. "You are truly one of a kind." "Thank you, Mrs.," I said. "You are truly one of a kind, too." After that, my grandpa Frank Miller did a loud whistle, and Mother and Daddy clapped very proud. And here's the happiest news of all. When graduation was over, Room 9 did not even have to say goodbye to each other, because all of us are coming back to this same school for 1st grade, so we can play at recess, just like Mother said. And guess what else? I can't wait to see those guys again, because we will be friends forever and forever, and always, and I mean it. The end. I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.